Canada's men's soccer team has now reached the quarterfinals of their last 5 Gold Cup campaigns after a 2-0 win over El Salvador on Tuesday. They'll now face Guatemala in the knockout stage. Canada owns the head-to-head with a 10-3-2 record. They'll be hoping perhaps it's a little less chippy than Tuesday night's affair.
Jesse, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
How frustrated are you and frankly bored at this type of match? Because as a spectacle, it's a terrible game of football. What do you really think about El Salvador playing that way? The second half is just constant time wasting, constant ruining the match. We're trying to grow the game in Canada, in the USA, and all around the world, and they're constantly spoiling the match. What are your thoughts?
We knew that El Salvador was going to be very physical and make it hard on us. I think they respected our physicality, so that's the way they played. Look, in the end, we had to figure out a way to get a result, and actually it kind of works out perfectly for us because our physical loads were pretty low in the match, and now I think it gives us an opportunity to just get through the next couple days physically and then mentally be really prepared for another similar type match against Guatemala. So, right now, I don't really care about the spectators as much as winning the group and moving on. So I appreciate what you're saying, but I'm happy with the concentration and discipline that our team showed and the fact that we got the win.
Okay, interesting take from Canada's men's national team head coach Jesse Marsch. Let's talk to Canada's men's national team reporter Matthew Scianitti about it. So Matthew, who joins us from Houston where the match took place, obviously an incredibly physical first half. 22 fouls, 13 on El Salvador. There were yellow cards. There was a straight red. You said on Twitter, Matthew, you thought this might have been Canada's poorest half under Jesse Marsch. Do you feel that way still after some somber reflection post-match?
I feel that way just given the standard that Jesse Marsch has set. And when he walked in tonight, watching the Guatemala game, that Canada's now going to face Guatemala in the quarterfinals, he was expecting a lot of pace and the fact that El Salvador might go at Canada. And there was a stoppage. We have to say, a lot of the rhythm of this match was very much halted by a 7+ minute stoppage for an injury in El Salvador's half. But things just descended into madness after that. And I imagine this is going to be a lesson learned for Canada. And when I say poor, and again, I'm talking about the standards that Jesse Marsch has set and the fact that first game against an opponent that in Honduras that might have done the same thing to Canada, Canada ran right over Honduras. I'm not implying that they should have done that against El Salvador. And I'm not trying to backpedal, but the fact is, there was so much skill on the field tonight, and they got sucked into a very sloppy game. And of course, when Jonathan David stepped up, I was sitting next to Chris and Jack, and I said, you know what, the way this half is going, he's going to miss this. And he did. But I think what was key is this, and this is what's important to talk about when you think about Jesse Marsch and what he does for this team. Before that second half, he came right to the center circle, huddled around his team and said, the ref has told me, don't get caught in anything, don't retaliate. And sure, the game after that with El Salvador having 2 red cards, certainly Canada had 88% possession in the second half. They dominated the game, but that first half is not the quality that Canada wants to have. But then again, El Salvador did their best to drag Canada's quality down.
And Matthew, you alluded to it. Jonathan David misses the penalty at the end of the first half, though that leads directly to the straight red card. Then he scores Canada's first goal of the second half. What's your read overall on Jonathan David's performance in this match?
He is the story of this team in this tournament. This is a guy who doesn't have a professional contract right now. There are rumors that he's going to Juventus. I spoke to his representatives today. There is no deal done. Yes, Juventus is among the teams interested in Jonathan David. But just look at his composure in the 53rd minute. Great pass from Matthew Scianitti, and there's Jonathan David just slotting it home. And you could feel in his celebration, runs up to a camera, it just settled everything down. Now, I imagine just, again, given Canada's quality, they were going to score against El Salvador. It was only a matter of time. But when you need him most, there's Jonathan David in this tournament. He's played over 210 minutes, which, again, for a guy who doesn't have a contract playing international soccer, that would not happen in the modern game. So when they needed their coach to calm them down, Jesse Marsch did, and when they needed their best player to step up and score a big goal, Jonathan David did as well.
Canada now on to the Gold Cup quarterfinals where they will face Guatemala.